right, Junkie Nation, Gorgeous George and Goze, keeping it going with another MMA superstar. This time it's good friend of the show, Hawaiian Brad Tavares, who's going to be getting down on January 23rd, 2021, UFC 257. Can't wait. Welcome back, Brad. How you doing?
Good. Thank you guys for having me. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking back, and it's been about a year since your last fight. And then before that one, it was a year and a half. So things, when we first got to know you, like the first decade of your career, you were pretty much frequently fighting, pretty healthy, right around 30 years old. Things just went in another direction. But here you are, ready to go, coming off that ACL injury. How do you feel?
I feel great. It's been good to be back in the gym, doing everything that I normally do. For a long time, I was very limited in what I could do. No martial arts training for a while. But I did the staff at the UFC PI, Heather Linden, Bobby Geisford, Tara Jarreau, great crew there. Just the physical therapy just really got me back quick. But it was one of those things, I sat out for 6 months or so already, and I probably could have came back a little sooner, but, didn't want to rush it. I figured there's no sense. I've already been out 6 months. There's no sense in trying to get back a month or two earlier, and something happens and I sit out another year. So here I am now. I feel like the timing is right. My body feels good. Everything is clicking the right way right now.
Okay, so I'm going to give you one of those what if hypotheticals.
Okay, what if?
If the UFC PI didn't exist, how do you think you would have dealt with this? I mean, I guess this is a chance to plug them and those guys and what the UFC's done for their athletes. But tell me, do they push you where you need to be pushed? Tell me, the benefits of the UFC PI for you and maybe any of your homies that have also benefited from them on the rehab side.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. Real talk. With what went down in the world, what is going down in the world currently as far as the global pandemic, COVID, all of this crap. Say the UFC PI wasn't there. They closed for a brief little stint. Everybody had to, obviously. But the staff was still accessible to me, to where Heather was still giving me workouts, working me through stuff. They came and personally dropped off a bunch of equipment that I needed to continue my rehab. Bo and Kyle came by, dropped off a bunch of stuff, So I had an assault bike and some weights, Bosu ball, everything that I needed. So they helped me get through that. Had it not been for them through that time that we were shut down, I may have not, had the improvements to my knee and to my rehab that I needed. I might have fell behind, and I may be fighting way later down the line. So it's truly blessed for me to be here in Las Vegas, and they're also here, and we have access to this great staff and great facility. I believe truthfully that they really made a huge difference. I had my surgery on a Wednesday, and Friday I was already starting my rehab. So I was on it 5 days a week, every week, until I was cleared to start doing other things where I didn't need to just come in and do rehab every day.
That's awesome. I injured my knee in 2017, and the first 6 months, I hit it pretty hard because I had the appointment and they pushed me, and I got great exercises, the most modern type of exercises.
Yeah.
But once I couldn't continue it, I just haven't been able to get to where I want. So that's cool that you've had that push, the resources, and they found ways to work around the pandemic by bringing you equipment. That's amazing, man.
Yeah. It's fortunate. I got really lucky. And, with the whole injury, I feel like the way the world went, and nobody wants to get injured, but it's going to happen. I feel like it kind of happened at the right time. I had the surgery in February, and the world shut down in end of March, April.
Do you know any athletes that have yet to even benefit from the PI, that have just, I got this. Have you ever ran into any athletes that have told you that? Because it's, there's one in Vegas, there's one in China, but that's it. I've always felt like they should put one on the East Coast, but it seems like once everyone finally gets here, they're like, oh man, we're not playing around over here in Vegas.
Yeah. No, I've not met anybody that's had any negatives to say, and in fact, I've met a bunch of people who have either A, moved here, or B, moved their camps here just to have access to the facility and the staff and the nutrition and everything that comes with it, you know? So the PI has not only been a blessing for me as far as me having access to the facility, but it's also been a blessing because it's brought so many bodies into Las Vegas, and a lot of them roll through coutures. You know, we have so much more guys on the mats now, different looks and different styles and body types. So yeah, that's another way we benefit, you know, being here in Las Vegas.
Of course, you're fighting Shoeface, Antonio Carlos Jr. on January 23rd. I mean, pretty solid all around, honestly. I can't say anything bad about the guy. I wanted to ask you, we talked about the knee. You said it was good.
Yep.
What about the forearm injury from a while back? Did you ever have any setbacks at all, or has it been pretty much good to go ever since you finally got healthy 100%?
Just the same, you know, I've spoke about it before, the issues that I went through with my forearm. Broke it in that Adesanya fight, and kind of had some mishaps with the doctors and the choice of what they wanted to do, and then what finally ended up happening. Afterward, obviously, it was same road. You know, you got to rehab everything and get it back to the way it used to be. But now, you know, no issues. You know, I that was what, 2 years ago now. So it's been about 2 years since the injury, and since then, you know, I've still just did the things that I needed to do to get back to where it was before.
Brad, when they brought the name Shoeface, were there any other names involved in this? I know coming back from a major injury, you and your team probably sat down and looked at the matchup, but was that the only name, or did they bring other names to you?
To my knowledge, I believe that's the only name. That's the only name that I heard. I'm not sure if anything else was presented. Shoeface and I were supposed to fight this past March, and due to my injury, it didn't happen. So, you know, we're just scheduling it again, and, you know, it's a fight that was supposed to happen. It's going to happen now.
Sorry about that. You mentioned some new faces at Extreme Couture, and that was going to be one question I was going to ask. With the PI, it seems like a lot of new faces are hitting the mat. Your gym is more one of those that I would describe as like a family gym, where it takes a while for you to kind of become a part of the team, but everybody trusts each other. Everybody's friendly in and outside of the gym. Seeing these new faces, how long does it take for these dudes to kind of blend in and get accepted? Is it right away because of the level of talent that they are, or does it kind of take a while for you to trust these guys?
I think it matters, and it's different individual to individual. There's guys that come in and they just mesh right away. Their style, and when I say style, is, I mean, not their style is like, oh, jiu-jitsu guy, kickboxing guy, boxer. I mean the style in which they train with and approach their training partners. You know, like there's people that will come in and they're absolute spazzes, you know, and it's just, you can't like, say I'm in a fight camp and somebody comes in and I can see that they're a spaz. I'm not going to want to train with that person. I can't afford to get injured or cut or, you know, anything like that might alter my fight or take me out of a fight. So yeah, like those type of people, obviously it's going to take longer to mesh with them. And the people that come in that, you know, like they still train hard, but they're in control. Like they know what's up. You know, those people mesh much easier. So it's just, it varies individual to individual.
The UFC announced that the Ultimate Fighter is going to be making a return, and you're an Ultimate Fighter alumni. What do you think about this? Now that Dana White's Contender Series is here, a lot of people are saying maybe we just don't have room for Tough anymore. You were on that show. What do you think? Are you happy to see that show come back? Do you still watch it?
I honestly, as far as, I don't follow like the views or whatever, you know, those type of statistics. But as far as a young fighter goes, looking back to my time on the Ultimate Fighter, my experience, for a guy like me at the time, I was younger. I was 21, 22 maybe. I didn't have a kid yet. I didn't have those type of responsibilities. That was probably one of the best training times of my life, at that point in my life. I had no responsibilities. I would wake up. I would make myself something to eat. A van would come, pick us up, take us to training, take us back home. We chilled. Like, I didn't have to worry about anything except fighting. So for the young fighters out there, I think the Ultimate Fighter is huge for them, and a great experience. I can understand now. I'm older. I'm a father. I can understand how there's guys that just can't do it. I get it. They cannot be away from their business, their family for 6 to 8 weeks straight with no contact. I get it. So, I guess it depends on the type of people they put in there. But for me, the experience I had, and for the other young fighters out there coming up, I gained a lot. I learned a whole lot from that experience. So it was something that I really value. And I think it is still of value to fighters out there.
All right. I'm shocked you said that. For some reason, I thought you might say, Dana White Contender Series, one fight, impress, and you're in, and that's it. You don't have to do those constant weight cuts and being housed. You were young. I get it, but still, that seemed, even some young guys have kind of gone cuckoo in there.
Yeah, like I said, it's individual to individual. But so coming from where I came from, being in Hawaii, we're kind of like, like at the time back in 2007, 8, 9, we're kind of still far off from everybody. There was so much that I learned about nutrition and cutting weight and how to like cut weight the way that I do now. And I learned that all in Ultimate Fighter. I had Chuck Liddell, John Hackleman, Jake Shields, all of these great guys around me who we didn't have this type of experienced fighters and coaches around us back in Hawaii. So it was huge for me. I still love Dana White's Contender Series. I feel like for guys that are a little bit more along in their career, that already kind of have it figured out, they're at a good place and with a good team, with good coaches, hey, that's great for them. They don't need that Ultimate Fighter. But for the young guys coming up who, don't really have that, it's huge for them.
Do you still keep in touch with Uriah Hall? Uriah Hall had a fight with Shoeface, and I know you guys used to be pretty tight, but he's no longer at Extreme. But do you keep in touch?
Yeah. He's still out here every now and then. Still get to see him. He was recently out here, I think before his last fight, and he trained a little bit, and it was right when I got back to training. So we did some training. Uriah's a super cool guy, so still do keep in touch with him here and there.
Can he offer any intel on Shoeface? What he felt like, what his tendencies were? Is that something you prefer to do on your own, or can you get something, any valid info from someone like that?
It never hurts to ask like that type of thing. Like, hey, is there anything about this fighter that maybe it was unexpected or this or that or whatever? But as far as me, I don't really spend that much time trying to go out there and like nitpick and ask guys like, oh, so what, is there anything like, the film is all out there. You still got to go out there and fight, It's funny that you asked that though, because I know that my opponent went and called somebody that I train with, that he used to train with, and try to get like little insider trading, I guess you could say. Like, and I just laugh at it. You look weak to me when you do that.
Wait, you're saying Shoeface called one of your former teammates or a current teammate?
Called one of my current teammates that he used to train with. I won't mention any names. But yeah, he tried to, I don't know, I guess ask, like, get some intel. Like, I don't know. It just seems weak to me. Like, you got to go and do that. But whatever, it's war.
But all right, Brad, let me push back on this as best as I can. Obviously, I'm not a fighter, but I remember we played flag football once, Extreme Couture against Junkie Nation. I didn't get to play because I was injured, right? But if somebody told me, "Hey, I want to go in," and I go, okay, we need somebody to block, and you were in front of him, I'd probably say, hey, this guy's really, really fast, so make sure you do this. That's helpful info. So I don't know.
It is.
Why maybe you seem a little hesitant to gather as much as you can when you go, because it's everybody at the UFC level is pretty legit. So I understand what you mean about Shoeface. Well, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I've always had a problem with fighters that don't do much. Not a problem. I just disagreed with fighters that don't do as much watching video and all that.
No, see, that's the whole reason why you don't need to go ask somebody something.
Yeah.
Like I said, if now that I have the fight and say Uriah's in, I'll for sure probably ask him, like, hey, was there anything that you didn't expect? Because you can watch film as much as you like, but somebody, might be like, oh, this guy was like freakishly strong in this position, or he, like, people do things. There's little things, especially when you get up to these higher levels with these good guys, like the guy I'm fighting, Shoeface, really, really good on the ground, so there might be like little things that he does that's different, that makes his style. So there's stuff that I'll ask, like those type of things, whatever. Maybe Uriah can offer me some advice there, but I'm not gonna go out of my way. I didn't get to fight and call Uriah or call the last 10 opponents that Shoeface has had and ask them, like, hey, what can you give me? Like, I've never been that guy. Like you said, there is the film. Like, I can go back and watch every single one of his fights and pick it apart, which me and my team do. So I don't know. I just don't really feel the need to go out of my way to go ask, like, hey, can you give me any advice? Like, he might be a completely different fighter from fight to fight. So that's where I stand on that.
By the way, I would also tell that person that's trying to block you, be careful, because he goes on 2 Mississippi, not 3.
I just count fast. 1, 2, 3, Mississippi.
Hey, man. Well, speaking of football, I know it's not the same, but the Raiders are in town. What's that experience been for a hardcore Raider fan like yourself? Have you even gotten a privilege to go to the stadium, or do you know anyone that could ever get you on the practice field to watch anything?
Nothing like that. I would, given the chance, I would jump at it. But again, I'm not that. I don't know. I don't go out of my way for that type of stuff. I'm a season ticket holder, so it's a little bittersweet, Our first game here against the Saints, I was super, super excited, especially we beat them in the fashion that we did. And then maybe about, 30 seconds to a minute after the game, maybe even faster than that, like, I'm sitting there, the game just finishes, and it sunk in, like, wow, we were actually supposed to be right there, like, there at this game, inaugural season opener, experiencing this live. Like, could you imagine what that would have felt like? And then I got really, really sad and really bummed out about it. So it's like I said, it's bittersweet, I wish we could be there, but I get it. These owners made this decision to try and protect their fan base, their city, their team. So hopefully next year.
Did the Raiders in any way say limited fans in December or January? I mean, I don't know. Like,
nah, they said the whole year. Yeah, whole year, no fans at all. And then owner Mark Davis said that if everyone can't come, he doesn't want anyone to come, including himself. So he doesn't want to have like limited capacity. And then I did see, though, that some of the other teams we play, that they do allow fans here and there. So I was even thinking, like, well, so we already played Kansas City, and I think Mile High might have like 30% capacity, but our home game against them, away game against them I think it's too close to my fight. So it's probably not going to happen this year. So I'm probably just going to have to wait till next year.
I actually got a press release from the Raiders, and they said they're willing to give you season tickets for the next 3 years if you have Mark Davis's haircut.
Oh, all day. All day. Let's go. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna go into the barbershop. Let me get the Mark Davis. Sign me up.
White? Would you rock all white as well? Always dressed in white?
Whatever I gotta do, you know.
That's a fan, right?
3 years for free season tickets. Hell yeah.
But you're gonna look like a clown for 3 years.
I don't give a shit. I'll fight my next fight with that haircut.
Man,
small price to pay.
We got to figure it out. There's a few of you MMA fighters that are Raiders fans. We got to figure out a way to get maybe to a practice with masks or something. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of opportunities like that, but
it's just such a weird year. Oh, speaking of football, damn, the Niners got bit by the freaking injury bug. And we can't even talk about the NFC East.
Oh, dude.
Worst division in football ever.
If you're 2-6, you're in first place in the NFC East, I think. I couldn't believe it.
Bro, that's crazy.
2-5 against the Eagles, who were 2-4-1 in the battle for first place. I was like, what? Well, one of those teams gets to go to the playoffs.
Yes. No, yeah. So that's what this is the crazy thing. This might be the first year that we have a Super Bowl winner with a losing record.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they can make it that far, but just making it, anything happen, right? You can't
any given Sunday. Once you get to playoffs, it's just you gotta take each game as it is. And they all have losing records. So one of them is gonna make playoffs with a losing bum record.
Hey, have you managed to stay? This might be personal, but have you managed to stay safe, or did you get the Rona, or would you rather not answer? I mean, I don't know.
No, I
heard it swept through extreme for a little while.
It did. I was one of the ones that ended up getting it. I think a few other people from another gym all got it, and they came and trained with us. And then by the time it was like mid to late week that we had started hearing that they're testing positive, by the weekend, a bunch of our fighters had gotten it. So we shut the gym down. For me, like it was nothing more than a common cold. Even less than that. I had a slight fever, never got over 100 degrees. A little bit of congestion, not even a lot. And then here and there, like the body aches here and there. But that only lasted maybe 2-3 days tops. And then I started feeling normal again. I think the hardest part about the whole thing was staying away from my family for the 10 days, the quarantine, my daughter was like crying to come see me. She wanted to come downstairs and that just kind of killed me. But the actual physical part of it was really nothing. Some of the guys were even no symptoms at all. They only tested because everybody at the gym was testing, had no symptoms. Yeah. So as far as the whole COVID things goes, I definitely know it's not a joke because I have friends that have lost family members because of it. But that's a scary thing, I guess, about it. It could do nothing to you, and it could affect you severely to where some people lose their lives. But again, all the people that I know that lost their lives have been older, probably not as in great health. All the younger people that are healthy, it almost did nothing to them. So definitely the media tried to hype it up more than what it is.
Hey, Brad, have you already pushed yourself 90%, 100% since recovering from coronavirus? So you already know that your body won't have any long-term effects? You've already gone through, pushed it really hard since then?
I mean, not nothing crazy yet. And that's a scary thing, is that we don't know enough about this virus to know, when I was young, I had really bad asthma. So it was one of the things that concerned me just a bit. Like, okay, I know I'm a healthy guy, so I felt like I'll be fine, but you never know. You see these horror stories, young, healthy people getting their butts kicked by this thing. We don't know we don't know enough about it. So I'm hoping and praying that, I'm fine and I won't experience anything down the line, but only time will tell.
If you find out the person that brought it knew they had it, and it turns out they're a spaz, would you want to go outside and show them your truck?
I'll show it in my truck right in the gym. Come look at my truck in this cage.
All right, man. Hey, great catching up with you. You're in real good spirits. It's great to see that you've started your fight camp, and just in a couple months, you'll be ready to do what you were born to do, my man. You're one of the best in the world. Can't wait to see you throw down against ACJ, Antonio Carlos Jr., Shoeface, UFC 257, January 23rd. Thanks for the time, as always.
Thank you guys for having me, man. You know, I love you guys. I miss you guys. And I can't wait till we can do this in person again.